Time of death, 4:33 p.m. I am so sorry for your loss.
I can't believe he's gone.
Well, that's enough time for grieving today. We have business to attend to. Hi, I'm Roger Horton, owner and chief undertaker of Hortwood Forever Cemetery. Peepaw's spirit may have scurried off to attend to his unfinished business, but you need to find somewhere to stash his corpse, and quick, before it springs a leak. Choosing the right hole for your loved one to rot in is like choosing an apartment. You have approximately 5 seconds to select an overpriced, undersized space to share with strangers for what feels like forever.
I'm gonna have roommates when I die?
Oh, you bet. And unless you want to crash with your parents for eternity, you don't even get to pick them. Hugh Hefner paid $75,000 to ensure they'd stuff his corpse right next to Marilyn Monroe's, even though the two had never even met. Isn't that romantic?
No.
Yeah, no.
Folks in my industry have had to get creative. The human population has been skyrocketing, and we're running out of space to stash all that flesh after it quits breathing and begins to goopify. Perhaps you'd like to slot him into one of our deluxe above-ground filing cabinets. Or I can give you a good deal on an extra deep grave in a double-decker casket. We'll just have to cram Meemaw's bones in on top of his after she's gummed her final worthers.
Well, how much does that run?
Well, if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Peepaw deserves better than being crammed or filed.
Who do you think he is, Cleopatra? Because last I checked, he's just one wrinkly statistic among tens of millions of boomers who are currently rushing the banks of the river Styx like it's Normandy on D-Day. Look, you can't afford more space, but you can afford some frivolous decorations to make it feel bigger. For $1,000, we'll dump this chunky boulder on top of his body so goth kids can make fun of his name 100 years from now.
Is cremation an option?
Well, it'll cost you extra. And don't forget to purchase a big, heavy, decorative vase to store it in.
Well, maybe we could just put them in his I Hate Mondays mug.
The man did hate Mondays.
If you were planning on letting your favorite octogenarian die, you should have saved.
We'll pay for the plot. At least he'll have a final resting place we can visit.
Oh, what do you mean by final?
Probably like the standard definition.
Well, you don't actually own that postage stamp-sized plot of land. You rent it from me. Even in the afterlife, you're stuck in a renter's hell. That means at any point, I might sell all or some of my body holes to a hotshot real estate investor who wants to build some shiny, soulless luxury apartment. Then your peepaw would have to pack up his viscera and move.
You can evict my dead grandfather?
Oh, yep. And you might have to foot the bill. In our capitalist hellscape, living and dying are out of budget. There's a whole process involving exhumation licenses and special transportation, but I don't really see any of that dough. If I'm being honest, I sometimes forget to notify the family and let them build right over top of the bodies. Oh, it's so hard to keep track of those bodies.
Okay, I really don't want to die now.
Death is like tax evasion. We all do it. The trick is to die smartly. Invest in your own cemetery plot now, because inflation will inevitably make dying a financial impossibility in the future.
How much are we talking? All in.
Well, if you've got $20,000 laying around, that's a good start.
Okay, there has to be a way to sidestep cemeteries altogether.
Oh, there are lots of alternatives to traditional burial, but they're incredibly expensive or impractical. It's easier just to leave it to me.
Well, if cemeteries are the safest and most reliable option...
Safest? Not really. It's not uncommon to misplace a body or two. And I've been known to double book a grave site, like a second-rate airline. But reliable, also no. Historically, it was common practice for med students to procure their own cadavers by buying the recently deceased on the black market, or digging up a corpse of their own in the dead of night. We have grave robbing to thank for like most of modern medicine.
Okay, that was a long time ago, right?
Grave robbing is still a very real threat to this day. It's actually pretty tough to shoo away your Laura's Croft and Ed's Gein. A few years ago, a cemetery worker was caught stealing a Fender guitar from a coffin when he thought no one was looking. And there's actually a thriving underground market for human body parts. Just last year, a man was caught with an entire Frankenstein starter kit he'd collected from Facebook Marketplace.
Could we at least take a couple minutes to weigh our options?
Oh, sure. Just don't take too long. You never know when death might come for you.
Was that a threat?
Okay, well, try to enjoy life with the specter of death constantly looming over you. I've been Roger. That's life. That's what all the people say. Riding high in April.